Hello there. Alrighty, I wanted to talk a little bit about energy, my favorite subject ever. And it's so rich and there's so much to know. And it will, if you can just gather a little bit of focus and a little bit of desire to want to have a better life or want to be more happy in your life, then harnessing your energy, knowing how to harness your energy, knowing how to direct your energy is the key. It really is. So I know for myself that I have turned my life into a much more joyful life than I used to have. And I'll tell you a little story. Many years ago, I was actually at an airport in Fiji, and I was looking through the books. There was a reason I was at the airport in Fiji, though, because I wasn't able to get on a flight with my husband a few days earlier, and I had to stay back, which sounds like a great thing, but I was staying back with my 2-year-old daughter, and I couldn't get back into Australia because my visa had expired, and I didn't know that. Once we were there, I didn't know that, and so we tried to get me back. I couldn't get back. It was Easter weekend, so here I'm delayed for a few days, and I'm stuck in this not very nice hotel. And I was actually a little bit scared. I didn't like being there. Okay, so it was an uncomfortable time for me to be away from my husband, knowing that he had to go back to Australia, and I was able to get a flight back a few days later. But I really feel that one of the main reasons I was delayed for that flight was because I needed to find this book. I can't even remember the name of the book. I still have it, but it was a book about energy. It was a book about directing energy. This is 10 years ago, 12, no, longer, 12, 13 years ago. And it was all about how you create through your thoughts. You create by harnessing, by being aware, and by focusing in on the better, focusing in on the good, just directing your thoughts in a different way. And before I'd found this book, I was a complainer. I used to complain all the time. Not many people know that about me. And I was a sigher. I still sigh every once in a while. Oh, life is such a burden. I did that even growing up, like a kid. I just had this natural sighing, like, oh, dumb, woe is me. And I had a great life. Like, I had no problem. I could, Brady Bunch life, right? But that's the energy we come in with, right? This kind of like personality self that we still hold on to, a personality self even. Our spirit does, and this is not, I've learned that through near-death experiences. Like I listen to heaps of near-death experiences. I find them fascinating, and they do talk about how you actually carry your personality on. So, but that's another story. So this is happening. So I used to be a complainer, found this book, and the book was talking about, focusing your energy. And one of the things I didn't like was, okay, so I'm a mom. I complain about having to do everything. Oh, I have to do the dishes. I was a martyr. I was like, oh, I have to do the dishes. I have to do this. I have to take care of my husband. I have to, and I was feeling sorry for myself a lot. Felt sorry for myself. And I mean, my life was great, but at the same time, and I think a lot of our lives are great, but there's a dissatisfaction. So there was this dissatisfaction. So I started putting sticky notes up all over the place that said, I love taking care of my family. I love having the ability to take care of my family. It was all these good thoughts. And now I still have sticky notes all over my house to remind me about things. Not so much those types of things, but other things. So they're a great way to do it. And so I started really, every time I would start going down that spiral of, oh, woe is me, I would say, no, because it didn't feel good. It felt awful. And I knew I was going stagnant. I knew my spirit within me was guiding me like, you need to switch this up. This is not serving you. You got things to do, girl. So with that progression of getting better and better and feeling better and better and feeling the difference, feeling the uplift, and seeing how that tiny bit of switch, by reminding myself that this is actually a good thing, like all is well, just enjoy what you're doing because you got to do it anyways, and appreciate what you got. That started switching things up for me. And then I started really getting into like Abraham Hicks, studying Abraham Hicks and listening to all of that, and Esther Hicks. And, that just started my journey of this work that I'm doing now, which is being here and wanting to share this with you and our energy. So it's all about energy. You have the ability to move your energy. You know, you have a source energy, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. There is a light of truth within you that you remember, and you remember it when you feel it. So you'll feel good, okay? Feeling good, feeling joyful, feeling free, having a laugh, petting your dog, enjoying, loving. That is source energy feeling. That is the feeling that we are all going for, right? So when you get into that source energy feeling, you feel great. When you don't, you don't. And there's no judgment at all. The only judgment is with you. You do it. You judge yourself, right? So you feel like crap and whatever. So when you're going into that negative space, you're like, oh, there's my guidance system. There's my acknowledging that I'm not feeling so great anymore. I'm pulling farther away from my source energy. Okay, let's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was just something I listened to earlier of Mel Robbins. Something she had said. She goes, when she was going through depression, she would say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like a rocket, get out of here. Well, I'm telling you, when you do that with your energy, when you start shifting down to that, I got chills right now. When you start shifting down into that negative pattern, the best thing you can do, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's shift out of this and do it quickly, because it doesn't take long. In fact, Abraham Hicks says 17 seconds is all it takes to build momentum. And once you've built, think of it as a snowball, snowballing down, collecting more and more and more and more, and then you're off the deep end and you might as well take a nap or go to sleep or something and wait for the next day to come. Because if it gets too much, the energy force of that energy will become, there'll be a lot of momentum to it. It'll be harder and harder and harder for you to switch out of it. The best way to start is first thing in the morning. Wake up in the morning. You'll feel fine. You'll feel fine right when you wake up. Then you'll start remembering all the problems you have. So be aware. Oh, I'm starting to go into that drama that I had yesterday or was worried about or whatever. No. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get out of bed. Let's make a cup of coffee. Let's wake up the kids. Let's enjoy the moments. Let's be in the present moment. The present moment will take you in all the time. The present moment is where you can really get really concentrating on the present moment. Like, I'm cutting vegetables right now. I'm turning a doorknob. I'm turning on my car. Just start narrating everything you're doing just to get you back into the present moment. I am love. I am light. So your energy, you have the ability to shift it through your focus. You become aware of it first. You do something that makes you feel good. Get out in nature to shift it. Or you do my little painting practice that I'm sharing with you here. I've got a link for it in the comments or wherever it's going to be. I don't know yet. So you'll be able to do it. It's a 15-minute energy shift. And it's one of my favorite things to do. It's a very powerful way to move energy, especially if it's really deep ingrained stuff. Like you go and have an argument with your significant other, and it turns you every time. You get that bad feeling and you think you're right. And it doesn't matter if you're right. It's the energy, okay? That energy doesn't serve you. Whether you're right or wrong, doesn't serve you. You can tell the desire to be right and that feeling of righteousness or whatever it is, that is not a pure feeling. That is a feeling of righteousness, which is a lower scale frequency feeling. So there's that whole scale, the whole frequency scale. Look it up, Google it. What's the energy frequency scale? You see it. Starts way down low, feeling depression, and all the way up to joy and love and light. So I'm just saying that we all have the ability to shift our trajectory, to shift our own personal energy. I mean, what a gift. That's it. That's what we can do. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Our spirit knows exactly where it needs to be to give you the most joyful life. You just got to follow it more. You just got to get into the higher frequency. It can't lead you in the bottom. It can't. It just can't. And we all go through our stuff. There's stuff to feel grief about. There's stuff, and there is. And there's also things, we should be really I have a problem. I always have a problem. It's like, all the children suffering or animals or whatever. Yes, that is going on. Okay. What can you do about it? You right now, what you can do about it is you can hold higher energy. That is the only thing that's going to shift it. Okay. You going down into that and hating the people who are doing it, that's a negative energy. So we are trying to lift the consciousness, lift the energy by raising our frequency. That's how we do it. So being aware, shifting into love energy as much as you possibly can. It will change the world. It will firstly shift you, then it will shift the world. What's the Michael Jackson song? Man in the Mirror, or whatever it is. So something like that. So, all right, guys, this is our work. Thanks for listening. Bye. I love you.